I always give it a second before I start actually talking to people, but that'll come across on stream. Hello, people watching us on Twitch. You may have noticed me before. My name is Chris. I go by Catharsis Jelly across most of the internet. I am putting together a team of wonderful people to come and play Brindlewood Bay with me, a game that I've never played or DM'd, so this is going to be hella fun. This is all in aid of end youth homelessness. We are raising money for 1625 independent people who are an amazing charity to try and help young people get off the streets and get a better start in life, or get a better future, should I say. Maybe not. Maybe they've started, maybe they've not. So I think that's about everything I need to say to start with. Let's kind of greet our wonderful players. I will go in the clockwise direction of it's happening on Twitch, so I will check that. We will start with JC. Hello, JC. How are you?
Hello. I'm good, thank you.
Good. In the next top right corner, I have to think where my right and my left is. We have Megan from the Explorers of Elsewhere kind of channel. She's been playing one-shots with Dan. How's that been?
Yeah, good. Really good. We're gonna start the new campaign soon, so nice. Look out for that. And I'm very excited to be joining them along for the ride.
Sweet. I heard you killed Jason Statham.
I died before Jason Statham got killed. So me personally, no, I was already dead. But Jason Statham did meet an unfortunate end yesterday. So
in an owl sanctuary.
Poor Jason.
What a way to go.
I'm so sad. I'll look forward to his next film whenever that happens. In the bottom left-hand corner, we have Jeff. Hello, Jeff. How are you?
Hello, I'm good, thank you. I'm looking forward to also playing Brindlewood Bay for the first time, so very excited.
Great. Thank you for being here. And then bottom right-hand corner, we have Lane. Hello, Lane. How are
hi.
You?
I didn't see you there. I'm pretty good.
Good. You were also involved in killing Jason Statham, I
did.
believe. Yeah.
How did I not get in on this action?
I was the domino that set everything going, I think.
I think there were a lot of dominoes in that thing. Yeah.
Yeah, but yes. I gave him his super cocaine.
Yeah. Jason Statham's Big Vacation is a weird game, and it's chaos. Unbridled chaos. This, however, Brindlewood Bay is going to be a lot calmer, maybe. Potentially. Brindlewood Bay, for those of people that don't know, it is published by a company called The Gauntlets, created by someone called Jason Cordova, who I've had on my podcast, small plug, Rough Sketch podcast. And Jason's a lovely person who is kind of like in love with things like Angela Lansbury and Murder, She Wrote, and come up with this system to try and fix a problem to another system that he was writing. It's based in America. But people don't have to be American to be there. So it's based in a New England style town. So think Massachusetts, Boston, Martha's Vineyard, that kind of thing. These people are all over 60 years old. They are all playing old ladies, whether they are cis women or trans women, women or women. That's kind of how we're treating this. So however you want to play it is up to you. Obviously be aware of like how you're playing, and all of their husbands are not in the picture. Husbands, partners, again, we're not going to be discriminatory based upon sexuality or gender. That's kind of the idea. And we'll be starting off just kind of like introducing our characters, going through any lines and veils or anything that people want to kind of like avoid. I've already mentioned this to the group. We have the X card in play, so people can give me this symbol if something comes up and it's triggering for them, or if they don't want to continue down that route. We will avoid whatever's going on. We will address that problem as it comes up. We have an open door policy, so I've told people if they need to go and wee, go and wee. If we are looking towards going to 3 hours...
Not on camera.
Sure. Turn your camera off first, maybe. And if you want to go and wee in the corner of your own room, that's your thing. That's up to you. That's entirely your problem. So yes, and if we are going to 3 hours, which we may or may not, then there will be a break about halfway through. So with that in mind, do we want to know more about the game first, or do we want to just start creating characters and just kind of run with it? I'm open to these.
That's quite a good choice. I mean, both are good choices.
I think I'd like to know a little bit about the game first. This is my first time as well.
Sure. Okay. What can I tell you? You are part of a group of 4 women who form the Murder Mavens. The Murder Mavens are like book buffs. They hold a book gathering every week to kind of go through the books that they are currently reading. And they are currently reading anything by Amanda Delacourt. Amanda Delacourt is the Brindlewood Bay version of Jessica Fletcher. That might be the wrong person, but Agatha, basically it's the writer, the person who writes the books. And you all know these books like leftwards, sideways, whatever. You may have read them like 1,000 times, but some more than others. You meet every week, and maybe it's just it's more of a social group for all of you. Maybe you meet and it's just a case of you meet and you just have coffee, or you meet and you go out for dinner. Maybe you don't talk about Amanda Delacourt for this whole thing, but the idea is that you are in a social group together. The most recent goings on with Brindlewood Bay is that there's been a few mysterious things happening, and somehow you've been involved because of your love of murder mystery. You have become slightly a bit of a detective in your age. So you use your how do I put this? Meddling powers, interfering powers, kind of like use your feminine oldly wiles to get information out of people, because you're just a lovely old lady that just wants to know information about it. And it turns out that you've actually helped the police on more than one occasion. Maybe not in full murder as yet. Maybe it is. We can discover that. It's a very simple D6 system. I will ask you to roll normally 2d6. If you are rolling 3d6, it's either because you have an advantage or a disadvantage. For a disadvantage, you take the lower of the 2. For an advantage, you take the higher of the 2. On anything below a 7 is a fail. I think a 7 to 9 is a success with a consequence, and between 9 and 11 is a full success, and a 12 is something very special. So 12, something usually very special happens. That might mean that I give you guys a void clue. A void clue is something that will happen, like if we were playing like 4 or 5 games, will come into fruition about 4 or 5 games in. So it won't make much sense now, but I kind of really want to set that sort of like unnerving clue that you don't really know what it means, and you have no clues what it is. Your task as players is to find out where the clues are, and the clues can appear anywhere, in any order, and come to some sort of deduction as to who done it. I will tell you who your suspects are as we go along, and you, at the end of when you kind of think that you're ready to do the who done it, we run this thing called a theorize, where we just have like a chat about all of your clues and how they all fit together and who did what and why and how. And this is a very much a collaborative kind of part of it. We then nominate a person to roll some dice based upon the number of clues that you've got and the conclusion that you've got, and we come out with hopefully a person behind bars. Whether there is a circumstance that happens because of that or not, is down to the roll. But the theorize move is the end part of the game. So we will be looking to try and do that midway towards the end of session 2. But if we get to it early, that's fine by me. If you want to whip through 2 scenarios, we can try. But it's a very slow kind of pace of the game. What else can I tell you? There are 2 main moves for you as a maven, as a murder maven. There is the day move, which means anything that you want to kind of like do during the day. I will sometimes ask you to roll a day move. Day moves are usually fairly okay. There is a night move. Anything that happens at night is more risky because there are dark forces around you. A night move could be just something that is just more risky. So it doesn't have to be night for that to happen, but I might ask you to roll a night move. And those are in one of the handouts that I gave you. So there's a reference sheet that I handed out in the Google Drive. You then have your own personal move, which we will figure out as we go, as we create the characters. And then there is one other move where you can say, oh, this reminds me of this time when Amanda Delacourt wrote this book. And basically you summon the power to rewrite history, because failure is fun, and we will narrate what the failure could lead to, and then we will give you an out to do that. So I can explain that sort of again as we take in more and more. The other major things I will hint to you is putting on a crown. You will see in your sheets for your character sheet that there is something to do with putting on crowns. I hope that I put that in there. I'm just going to switch to the right window, and then we'll be all right. So you've got 2 types of crown. You've got normal crowns, and then you've got the crown of the void, crown of the queen, and crown of the void, I think. When you put this on, you can only use them once per mystery, and then they slowly kind of come back to you after resting. So we shouldn't go through all of them, but say that you mess up and you want to put on a crown of the queen, and the crown of the queen gives you like the fondest memory of your late partner for some reason, and you can use that to increase your roll from a failure to a minor success or a major success, depending upon how you want to use it.
Could this be something you remind us of as we go, in case like, oh, maybe you want to think about doing this? I have a feeling I might forget the individual moves, but this could be a good time to. That's fab. Thank you.
My goal is to kind of put you in peril a little bit, and to actually suggest to you that this is what's going to happen. So I will narrate like a bad thing that's going to happen to you, and I can say you can accept that, or you can put on a crown. And that's when you go, oh yeah, okay, I'd like to put on a crown because I don't want to break my leg, or I don't want that thing to happen to me. I don't want to get gotten by the large tentacle monster.
Which stream is this?
Exactly. And we won't get to advancement and that kind of thing, but at the end of each session, we will go through what your desires have been and whether you succeeded in them. And if you succeed, you get like a little advancement, which if you're playing the long game, it makes sense. In a short game like this, it won't make sense, but I think it's very good as a character move, just to kind of go, oh yeah, I do want to undermine a local authority, which means, just ditching anybody that's of police presence or FBI or whatever it is. So we will set those as we go through. Conditions are semi-effective. So if I give you a condition, maybe you've been day drinking, and I say, oh, you've got a condition that's tipsy, and you try and do something that uses your vitality, for instance, then you will roll with disadvantage because you are tipsy. And they're just words, they're adjectives that we will add in to say whether you are afraid, fearful, and you can clear those by using your cozy move, which is where you take one of the murder maven and you have a little sit and you have a chat and you do some knitting, or you do some crochet, or you do whatever it is that you think that your cozy move will be, and you just like, and that will clear it. It just gives you time. That's all. They're not permanent. The 5 stats: vitality, things you want to do. If you want to do a run, vitality, pretty much. If you want to lift a thing, climb a ladder, probably vitality. What are the others? My brain is failing to remember them. It is composure. Yeah, so composure is all about trying to make sure that you are in control of the situation. Maybe you're trying to control other people. Maybe you're trying to just kind of make sure that you are getting your shit together, basically. Presence is all about controlling other people, so giving off this like wonderful presence, whether it be persuading people or threatening people. I can't see ladies over 60 threatening people, but never say never.
Yeah, I'm from Birmingham. Just you be warned, love.
Exactly. You've got sensitivity. Sensitivity is your connection to the darkness. So if you want to play a 60-year-old goth lady, then I would say put a point in sensitivity. You start off with a -1. Everybody starts with that. But if you want to play a 60-year-old goth, maybe you've been dabbling in the dark arts before you became 60, and you're a bit more kind of like open-minded to that sort of thing. And the reason, like, it is what it says on the tin. Like, if you're trying to work some things out, if you're trying to use your reasoning for a task, then we'll be using reasoning. I won't always be in control of asking you what to roll. I will encourage you to tell me what you want to use, because it is a conversation and it is very much a joint play. That was a lot of information. But don't expect you to remember it all, because I've read the book twice and I still don't remember it all. That roughly sums up what's going on. The character keeper I will be controlling for now, and we will kind of go through what that means, and we will be taking in everybody's information and putting that into a character keeper. So I've got one place to put it on. It's asking me, let's start with people again. I'll start with top left and we'll go around in the Twitch stream. JC, I believe your pronouns are they, them. Is that correct? Your personal pronouns, not your character pronouns.
Yes, that's correct.
I should be explicit about them. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm good then.
Also, just so that we respect each other's pronouns and that kind of thing. Usually you'll address characters by their character name, and no other reason to do so by the real name, unless you absolutely really need to. Do you have an idea for your character name at all, or do you? Is that something?
Yeah. Yeah, I have a pretty strong idea for a character.
Grace.
Her name is
Does
Grace.
Grace have a last name, or does it not matter? Grace O'Hara. Is that hyphenated? O-H-A-R-A. Right, I'm going to go with that. Yeah. And Grace's pronouns. She, her. Great.
She, her.
Okay. We'll go around and we'll just kind of get character names. If you don't have one yet, that's cool by me. We can work on that as a team of people. Who's next? Megan, you're next in the list. Your personal pronouns, I remember it being she, her.
Yeah.
Okay.
She, her will do.
Great. Do you have a character name ready, or do you want to think about that?
I do.
Okay.
No, I've got a character, Blodwyn Jones.
Blodwyn Jones. So B-L-O-D.
With a double D. Double D.
B-L-O-D-D. W-Y-N?
I.
Okay, great.
And Jones.
Jones. Lovely.
Jones.
What's Bloodwind's pronouns? You've got me doing it now. It's just like it's infectious.
You're not going to be able to get out of that accent now.
No. She, her.
Great. And I don't care, like as I've already said, I don't care if you play this character as a lesbian, as a whatever,
Bit of both.
like a bit of both, bit of everything. I really like. I have no preference.
Polyamorous.
Yeah, exactly. Like ex-polyamorous.
Why do you think we're all together?
Your polycube. Yeah. We will go through whether we want that kind of thing or not in just a moment. Jeff, do you have a character name already? Sorry, can I take your personal pronouns first?
Yeah, he, him.
Great. And do you have a character name already, or?
I think I do. It was a bit on the spot, but I think it's going to be Sandra.
Sandra. We can I
haven't got a surname yet, but I'm just like Sandra.
Yeah. We can give you.
It might be Susan, but I'm thinking Sandra.
Okay. If you want to change that, then we can work towards that. That's fine. This is what today is all about. Does Sandra have a particular set of pronouns, or are you unsure?
I think probably she, her.
Okay, great. And last but by no means least, Lane, do you have your personal pronouns first of all?
She, they, please.
Okay. Now, I always have to ask this, which is probably my own knowledge. Do you have a preference how you are addressed between she, they, or is that just
she's slight preference, but either's good.
Okay, great. I always like to confirm that. A character name, do you have one?
Oh, I do. I'm Teresa McIntyre.
Teresa McIntyre. Great. Teresa, I can't spell. T-E-R-R?
Teresa, T-H-E-R-E-S-A.
I really can't spell. I really can't spell. T-H-E-R-S-A.
R-E-S-A.
R-E-S-A. Okay, all right. And then McIntyre, is that M-C-I-N?
M-C-I-N-T-Y-R-E.
T-Y-R-E. The classic. The classic. And Teresa's pronouns, please.
She, her.
Great. Wonderful. Okay, we will come back to style just in a moment. For safety tools, do we, if I'm going to ask you, do you care about who romances with PCs, who romances with NPCs? If you don't want to romance with anyone, I can mark it down. If you don't want to romance with other player characters, I can mark it down. If you want to romance with other player characters, I can mark it down. Or non-player characters. So again, if you have ideas about this, feel free to let me know. Or if you are just like, let's see what happens.
Yeah, let's see what happens.
And any preferences to that? Otherwise, I will leave it.
I'm happy to see what happens.
Yep. Great. Cool. Sticking with our safety tools, the lines that I've already kind of say, we are using lines and veils. The lines I've already said are kind of homophobia, transphobia. These are my personal ones. Racism and sexual assault or violence. Those are my three biggies. You can have a look at the sheet and kind of tick anything off you like, or kind of like let me know which ones you want to tick off, or if you want something added, then I can add in anything to that sheet. But I like to kind of use like a roaming version of this. But if you have anything now, you can either mention it or you can send it to me and we'll deal with that. But if you don't, all good by me.
I have sort of one thing, but it's, I don't know, it's one of those things that might not even come up, but like on-screen pet death. If it's
pet death,
yeah, if it's a pet that's been dead for a while and sort of is mentioned, that's fine. But no one's cat, dogs, ferrets, birds, tortoises, donkeys.
Yeah. And that for you is just something you just don't want in there at all, or something you want, when I say a veil, it's just something that's then just kind of glossed over a little bit, but it exists, or you don't want it to exist at all.
Glossed over is okay.
Okay, so that's what we call a veil. That's something that if it comes up, I will basically just kind of say, oh, there's, you know, somebody's dead rat over in the corner, and like, you know, and we'll just kind of pan away from that, and we won't worry about it. So great. Okay, if there's anything comes up during this spell, do let me know, and we will kind of move on from there. So, idea of style. Every old lady has their style, be it bag lady, tchotchke lady. You can have fishing be your passion. You know, I would encourage you to just kind of like have a think about what your character's passion is and how they would dress. Again, we're starting with JC. Do you have an idea as to what your style might be, or should I say what Grace's style might be?
Yeah, so there's in the list on the character sheet, there's one that's called the Martha's Vineyard style, and it's what I would call like nautical chic, sort of like blue and white horizontal stripes, polo necks, fisherman's jumpers.
Nice.
And she's like a very practical outdoorsy person who wears like waterproof Mac and trousers and big boots.
Love it. Really leaning into that. I love that. What I like to do with the cozy activity is just kind of like talk to each other's characters and just kind of think, oh, what might be cozy activity for this other person's character? So, I mean, if you've got ideas, that's great. It's something that we will talk about as a group. Let's carry on around the group and go. Megan, do you have an idea about Bloodwind's look?
I do. And I'm going to do this bit in English accent, just so I'm not having to overthink it.
Sure.
So I'd say Blodwyn, maybe mirroring myself a little bit, is a hobby collector. You know, sort of jack of all trades, master of none, and her style reflects that. So she'll have like a pair of dungarees on, which are about 2 decades old, that she probably fished out of a skip, and have like its own little embroidered patches on that she's, you know, used as a bit of like almost like a practice canvas.
Right.
And maybe a home crocheted jumper, which probably is a little bit wonky in places.
Love it.
But yeah, just you know, sort of
Love
wearing
it.
her hobbies on her dress, as it were.
Do we like that? Kind of makes me think that maybe Bloodwind kind of maybe even like runs like a craft shop somewhere, or like markets on weekends, like from time to time.
I would say not, because for Bloodwind it's more the sort of the keeping her hands busy and using it as a social thing. If she made a trade out of it, it would no longer be fun. And also it means she'd have to probably get properly good at things, and she's definitely not good at any of the things she does. She's just kind of passable.
Love it.
You know?
Love it. That's amazing. There's a really nice distinction as well between we've all, like, I've done it. I turned my hobby into my job, and I sort of learned to hate it after a while, and it's never fun. But you know, we'll get there. Jeff, do you have an idea about Sandra's style? Susan.
Yeah, I mean, when I looked at the list, a lot of them I don't know. These are like American terms, and I'm like, what is this? But what really kind of stood out to me is that kind of speed walking up in pumps kind of vibe. And I'm thinking that Sandra, if I go with Sandra, she possibly bought a lot of shell suits back in the 80s. Like, she found one style she liked, which is like a purple and green shell suit, kind of pretty garish.
Wow.
You know, classic color combination, lots of stripes, kind of like purple with green stripes, or the other way around.
Love it.
And so she just keeps wearing the same shell suit, and she has been. She's got them on rotation.
Love it.
And I think she has a perm as well. I think she's got quite like a perms down to about here. She just hasn't quite left that decade, basically.
Amazing.
So
Amazing.
yeah, I think that's, but I'm not sure whether she is active as well, whether she just wears it or she's actually. I have a feeling she's not.
Sure.
She doesn't run or anything. So when it's speed walking up the pumps, she probably doesn't.
Sure.
But I think that's her style.
I like it. I also like to believe that you can hear her coming from a mile away with the swishing.
Just hold up a little bit of cumin. Just around the corner.
Great. And we move over to Teresa. Does Teresa have an idea about the style?
Absolutely. I think she has my style. Turtlenecks and long skirts. I already dress like an old lady. Let's make my old lady dress like me.
That's fine. I encourage this. It's great.
Also, a leather jacket that she wears sometimes. It says "Nazi punks fuck off" on the back.
Okay.
Love that.
Punk jacket. I love that. That's a Napalm Death song.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, Dead Kennedys. That's amazing. I am noting all these down. So we get down to our cozy activities, and like the cozy activities can be pretty much anything. They don't really mean anything in the game. It's just basically the thing that you do. So if there's nothing in the list that intrigues you, we can just kind of type one in. And what I would suggest is that we kind of have a little talk about kind of each other's characters, get to know them a little bit, so we can all ask JC any questions about the character, and I have to keep looking about Grace because my brain can't remember all these names. Oh, wow. We have a GM in South Dakota and in the US. Wow. That's kind of just come into the channel. I'm like, wow, that's like, it's really, I don't know. It's probably not early for them. Hello, South Dakota.
Hello to the entirety of South Dakota.
So yes, I mean, for me, Grace O'Hara, Martha's Vineyard, I mean, what do we think that Grace might like to do as a cozy activity? Any suggestions for JC?
Is she actually scared of the water though, JC? I know you're giving her a nautical theme, but does she go on the water, or is it a?
I think she could go on the water, but it was her late husband's thing. Like he used to run the shop down at the marina.
I like that. I like that.
Fish.
And also, so I'm like a huge bird geek in real life, and if there's a chance for me to be a bird watcher in a game, like I'm gonna take it. So, like, Red Dead Redemption for me was just like looking at because it's the birding, and it gives her the opportunity to keep an eye out with her binocs.
Love it. I love that idea.
I think for our American audience, it's twitching is the UK equivalent of birding. It is twitching.
No, there's a difference, and Grace will tell you all about it.
There is birding as one of the cozy activities. So, like, but like, I'm going to put specifically bird watching. Love it, love it. I love that you have a strong idea of this. Whilst we're sticking with your cozy activity, do you know where you want to put your +1? So you have currently, everybody starts with this. Everybody has a 0 in vitality, a 1 in composure, a 1 in reason, a 0 in presence, and a -1 in sensitivity. I know where I think I would
maybe reason.
Yeah. Consider that a 2. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Right, we'll carry on round the list. Megan, aka Bloodwin. So I think Bloodwin's cozy activities is obvious, unless you have a different idea or people have questions.
Crafting, just any craft. Doesn't have to be, you know, it doesn't have to be the same one all the time either. You know, she'll just pick up projects, have a little play around with them, put them down. One day she'll be doing diamond painting. the next minute she'll be doing some sort of embroidery. You might catch her doing painting on one day. But all the projects are probably in some form of like completion between about 70 to 90%, but none of them are actually truly done, you know. And some of them will hang up on a wall, and some of them will just litter any available surface in her room/dwelling.
Does she hand off projects to kind of like nieces, nephews?
Anyone. As part of the Murder Mavens, everyone will have a piece of Bloodwin created artwork. I don't know if you could really call it art.
Yeah,
but you've got it.
Great.
And you
I was a
didn't
bit pressed
necessarily
when you tried
ask
to put
for
a
it.
brooch on my shell suit, but I was like, okay, I'll have a brooch on my shell suit. You've damaged the lining, but you know, we're friends.
And she definitely would have sort of, you know, gently guilt tripped you enough that you felt like you had to, you know, keep it on display either on your person or in your home in some way, you know.
Love it.
Yeah.
As we go around, have a little think about that and have a think about what you might have acquired from Bloodwin or what Bloodwin may have given to you and made you feel slightly guilty about not taking. So I love that idea. I love the fact that, like, I think that in your bag that you've always got like sort of your latest craft project, whatever that is. I can see you like trying out miniature painting at one point in time and thinking,
For example, I would have known that Grace loves bird watching, so Grace will absolutely have somewhere some wonky black bird that Bloodwin is crocheted, you know, on her shelf somewhere.
Little pipe
maybe
cleaners
hidden
for
behind
legs.
a few books. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. I thought taxidermy might appear. It very well might. It very well might. I love that.
It might, you know, if Bloodwin gets bored of everything else.
Yeah.
Nothing's off the table.
It's amazing. Do you have an idea as to where you would like to put your +1? And it's kind of fairly open.
I've sort of thought about it. It depends on what Maven move I go for, I think.
We can come back to that if you want.
Yes, I might come back to that if that's okay.
Yeah. No problem. No problem at all. We will carry on with Jeff. What is Sandra's cozy activity?
So, you know, I think Ghost is Sandra's favourite film, and I think through that she came to pottery. I have a feeling that she thought perhaps she would. Her husband, poor Stanley's passed away now, but she always thought maybe that Stanley would, you know, come to her when she was potting. He hasn't done it yet, but you know, one of these days she's going to feel his arms wrapped around her as she's making a vase.
Love it. Somewhere in the background, there's Unchained Melody, kind of like, you know, Unchained Melody is a favorite song ever.
yeah. You can hear her humming it when she's over the shell suit.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling as well, through that she's a little bit spiritualist as well. There is an element of spiritualism running through her. That's coming through in my head now. There's like a, you know, the belief in the beyond.
She's been trying to summon Patrick Swayze.
Yes, yeah. Oh, he loves me. He'll be round for me sometime, I'm sure, Patrick. Oh.
So that means we're putting your +1 in sensitivity.
Well, I'm between that and presence.
Okay.
I'm kind of like I'm not sure what the Maven moves are. As I said, I haven't had much time to look into it.
That's okay.
Like I get the sensitivity because of the spiritualism side of things and not being particularly afraid of ghosts. But I have a feeling she feels she's a bit of a woman about town.
Okay.
You know, in a shell suit, she really strikes a pose.
Love it. Love it. Okay, I'll put it in presence, and like if you want to change that, then that's fine by me. Oops, that was a 1, not a negative one.
Just for the person in Dakota as well, just in case you're confused, that's a Birmingham accent. I'm attempting, so
it's fine.
Apologies if you're completely lost.
You wait until I start doing American accents, then we'll get busy. We will really get busy. That just leaves Lane. Hello.
That's me.
Teresa.
I was thinking that, like, honestly, baking keeps coming to mind as well.
It's not just neeps and tatties, you know.
Oh, can it be? So like every time this little club gets together, there's just always a smorgasbord of like baked goods. Every single time. And also maybe some like homemade moonshine.
Yes. Yes.
Because the stuff around here is kind of weak.
Yes.
I'm just gonna make my own.
Yes. Yes. You've now conjured up this like vision in my head that Teresa may grow. You know what I mean? She may grow her own. Those brownies are not just brownies. Yeah, that's superb. Do you know where you might like to put your +1?
Vitality.
Into vitality, of course. All those delicious goods going straight into your heart and soul.
Oh, there's another reason as well, but we'll get to
that. Cool. We progress down to our Maven moves. So for the uninitiated, the Maven moves are basically what I'm asking the players to kind of have a look at, and they get to pick one, and no two Maven moves can clash. So it's a conversation, and if you have a particular idea about a particular Maven move, then I will encourage you to just kind of have a conversation with your fellow players to see what would suit your character best. And we'll start as we've been meaning to go on. So the Maven moves are a handout that you can kind of grab hold of. Have a look through them. We have I won't go through them all. We have anything that, like, every Maven move will give you some sort of benefit, some way, shape, or form. So does anybody know their Maven move already? And then we'll start with them rather than putting pressure on. So Lane already knows. That's great. We'll start with Lane and maybe Megan. Okay, we'll go to Lane first.
I'd quite like Cult Seavers. The once per mystery, you can take a 12+ on a single roll related to a wild or daring physical feat.
Nice. You're gonna jump that gap and make that happen.
I thought while my wife off was, off fighting the Nazis in the wars, I was taking care of them at home.
Love it. JC, were you trying to get my attention there? Sorry, I saw it out the corner of my eye. That's fine.
Oh, no, sorry, I was just fiddling.
And so maybe Megan, maybe we know about Bloodwind's potential.
Yeah. I sort of had some ideas, but I've got some backups just in case anyone's got their heart set on anything.
Sure.
I thought it makes sense for my character to be the Angus MacGyver. Take any 3 objects in a room and can probably make them useful somehow.
I like that. I like that a lot.
We all want to.
They'll probably try and embroider something into it, or
I was hoping someone would
glitter glue there too.
JC, you were about to say something.
I was saying the MacGyver one was one of my shortlist ones, and I was really hoping someone would take it. At least one of us would take it because it's so much fun.
Great. Out of JC and Jeff, do you have ideas about your Maven moves?
I'm down to 2. I don't mind which.
Okay.
I've down to Tom Hansen. That kind of. I still feel that we're one of the reasons maybe I'm wearing shell suits. I still think I'm quite young. The other, what was it? Dale Cooper. Which kind of fits into that slightly spiritualist angle.
Dreams.
So I don't know if JC, if you picked one of those 2 that you really wanted, I'm happy to go for the.
No, I was torn between Columbo, because I wanted to play like a sort of a Columbo style detective, but I'm not sure if the move is actually like what I'm looking for. And then the other one is maybe the Remington Steel disguise, because Grace used to be a cop, a police officer, so maybe she still tries to impersonate one.
Love it. I'm just having a look through myself just to see if anything else that might match that sort of criteria. No, I think you've chosen. Sorry, carry on.
Sorry. I was going to say, I must admit, Jeff, when you were talking about shell suits and Love and Ghost, I immediately thought Tom Hansen. You know, the sort of, and every time you do get mistaken for being, younger than what you are, you just, it really does fill you with a sense of, sort of like, oh, great, this is brilliant.
Yes, yeah. Ooh.
Great.
Oh, I know. It's just the way I've got a very good skin routine. You see, really.
Right. So I'm putting yours in as Tom Hansen, Jeff, and I am putting in Columbo, possibly for JC.
As a question to the DM,
I think I'm going for Remington Steele, so I can pass myself if that's someone.
Sorry, JC, you broke up a little bit there. Could you repeat that?
Okay. I think I'm going to go with Remington Steele, the passive officer that I'm not.
Jeff, you had a question. Sorry.
Yeah, would that work with the presence thing? Do you think the being someone a bit younger, is that more of a presence thing?
Yeah.
Okay, so
sure.
I'll keep my one in presence in that case.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you can like easily act as somebody like that's younger than you, and then that will, that kind of like really lays into where you've put your extra point as a presence.
I think based on that as well, I think I probably because I was umming and erring over whether I do any fitness, and I think I probably do, kind of like walk in the street with like 2 little dumbbells. Probably have a dumbbell or 2 in my handbag that I keep just in case I need to do some power walking.
Like tiny little ones.
Like tiny little dumbbells, just like one.
Yeah, I love
not
that.
even 1 kilogram, just like.
Nice.
Come on, ladies, keep up.
Oh, you're definitely part of one of those, the fast walking. What are they called?
Speed walkers.
Speed walking. The speed walking team where they like wiggle their little hips.
Perhaps these are crafted by Blodwyn. These are little kind of Blodwyn made dumbbells.
Full of like chickpeas or something.
Oh yeah,
they rattle.
They're definitely two pint milk bottles filled with sand, but I've like glued a couple of sequins on them. I've sort of emblazoned your name in sequins on them.
Oh, these are lovely. Thank you.
We still need to know where you're going to put your +1, Blodwyn.
We do. So I was thinking probably reason would make sense, or. Yeah, well, I was thinking with the crafting and that sort of being able to problem solve. It's either working with your hands or sort of being able to. Yeah, maybe reason. I'm gonna go reason. Let's do reason.
Yeah, I like that. I like that idea. I like that. It's like you have the ability to sort of solve those problems that crafting gives you. Like, how do you connect these two things together? Do you use like hot glue like every other person in the world? Do you stitch something? Do you like, there is a reason for it. We have our characters. That's amazing. I did write down at least one note. Sandra's husband was called Stanley.
Stanley, yeah.
Do any of you kind of like it's not important, but do any of you kind of have an idea about sort of backgrounds, that kind of thing? Just like extra notes that I can use, kind of like tap into. JC, you mentioned police background for Grace that I forgot to note down.
Yeah. So she used to be a cop in Northern Ireland, but then she had to be put in witness protection and got sent over to
nice.
America.
Nice.
Nice.
Oh, maybe the Mavens already know about what happened in that story, or maybe you will never tell that story, and that's okay. Like, I think that's really intriguing. That's a real juicy piece of information.
Yeah, that is great. I need to up my game now.
It's not a competition. It's really not.
No, it is. Oh, of course. No, it's not.
It's really not. So I'm just kind of like writing some notes to myself. Lane, you said something about kind of like this Nazi punks jacket and your partner, your female partner being passed away.
Her wife Hannah.
Great.
Went off, and she was a soldier fighting Nazis in the war. So I did my part and bashed their brains in at home.
Nice.
What era is this game set in?
Yeah,
Just
I mean,
so we can all get on that
it's
same
pretty.
page.
We can set it as pretty modern, like if that's okay. Like you can have things like mobile phones; they are useful, or we can set it back like 10 or so years. It doesn't have to be historically accurate in any way, shape, or form.
Do we have an age range that we're working when we're kind of like being older women? Are we talking older, kind of 70 plus, older 50 plus? Any age?
At least 60
plus. Okay, yep.
So whether you sit on that 60 plus is entirely.
I'm pretty close to it already, so.
Hang on, I've got to write more notes. So Teresa, your wife Hannah, who went to fight in a war, quotation mark.
The war.
The war. The Great War that we'll never talk about ever again. Great. Megan stroke Bloodwind, do you have an idea about your partner? Or if not, it's something we can workshop by all means.
I do. Blothwyn is probably about 73, and much like her crafts, can't seem to hold on for one partner more than a long time. So she's been married a few times. She married young first, her husband Frank. They end up divorcing. Turns out he was gay. Oh no! So then she met her wife Rhiannon. That was the top of Mount Snowdon, don't you know? But unfortunately, Rhiannon passed away about 10 years ago. So then Blodwyn's just been, she's just been getting back onto online dating. Oh, that's a newfangled thing. Online dating. She's on OkCupid, and she's found out there's this thing that people send now called dick pics. And it's a funny old time, you see.
These people keep calling me a cougar.
I have a feeling Sandra's a bit of a prude and doesn't like it when you talk about dick pics. It's like, let's not bring the tone down now, Blodwyn. Put your mobile phone away. I know these are used for no good.
I tell you what you need, Sandra. You need to come to speed dating with me next weekend at the old WI. That's what you need.
Hey, that one you're talking to seems like a bit of a fucking prick.
Aye, but he's got a prick on him, I'll tell you.
I need to do nothing right now. This is great. It's already fallen into the gutter and we're swimming. We're like canoeing down the gutter. Love it. Okay. Great. So many marriages. I put Rhiannon, and I forgot to write down the name of your first partner. Could you retell me that?
Frank.
Great.
And
Frank.
I'd like to say that, Blodwyn and Frank are still sort of in touch. He's still back in the UK. But yeah, and Blodwyn essentially moved to America after Rhiannon passed away, just to get away. Really, that was was a sad time for her.
That's sad, but lovely that we can tie those things together. That leaves Grace. Grace, do you have any ideas, or JC, do you have any idea about Grace's partner?
No. Oh yeah. So she was married to a man named Michael. A nice Catholic boy. Not that that bothered me either way on that sort of situation. But yeah, I met him shortly after I was shipped over to New England. Settled down. Had many children.
That have now all left the nest. Wonderful.
I bet we've got a wee bridge of grandparents.
Love it.
I have a little bit more for Stanley, I think, just thinking on the spot if you need to get a bit.
You give me information, I'll write it down.
So I feel like he disappeared in mysterious circumstances.
What?
So maybe not. He's dead. I don't know. He's just I haven't seen him for a very long time. I assume he's dead. And I think I was. I don't want to be too stereotypical, but I think I was like a bit of a kind of a town gossip, like where I wasn't a working woman. I just kind of like kept myself very busy, walking up and down the road, talking to the neighbours, and kind of, you know, always finding out. This is where my detectoring comes in. Like I was always very in everybody else's business, and I think then there's kind of I'm following my own leads to find Stanley. And that maybe through dreams or things like that. I don't know. Maybe that's the spiritual thing. And that's what brought me to Brindlewood Bay. And I haven't been here that long, and I probably kind of, you know, needed to do something. So I joined this reading group. And found that we've all had a love of kind of asking questions that we probably shouldn't do, and intruding on other people's lives.
That's the way it works. I kind of now have the idea that somewhere in Sandra's house there's like a cork board of like string. That sort of like
purple and green string,
beautiful mind sort of style, like, oh, this is leading to there, this is leading to there. Amazing.
Derek at number 4. Now he's definitely slept with Susan at number 10. I'm going to put a line between those two because there's something going on there.
What's that got to do with Stanley?
Yeah. I bet Susan slept with Stanley. He was a bit of a goer in his day.
I can't wait to find out more about these people. This is so good. It's so good.
I'm sort of forming this headcanon that because we're all sort of very much British Isles accents based in New England, that maybe that's why we got together for our book club, because we all sort of miss something about our roots, whether it's, you know, being able to get a decent cup of tea, or, you know, our sort of
talk about Corrie.
Talk
Nobody
about
watches Corrie.
We miss our sort of our British Isles homes in some way, and that's what's kind of brought us together.
Yeah, nice.
There is no right answer to this. Like the answer is kind of a group thing. But I'm thinking the book club that you have like takes place in a bookshop generally, but it can take place anywhere. But I think it like takes place at the back room of a bookshop, and it's a bookshop that might sell kind of drinks, nibbles, that kind of thing. Do you think that this is where you get your decent cup of tea, or do you have to go to like the coffee shop down the road to get the decent tea and then bring it in a paper cup?
I bring my own thermos. Got a big green thermos. Couple of plastic cups.
Yeah.
Nice.
One of my grandsons over in Belfast has a good link to some Yorkshire tea. Get a bit of a smuggling run in.
Importing Yorkshire tea, like I love it. Like it en masse.
I love that. Grace is our tea dealer.
Yes, yeah.
I don't know.
You
I
know.
think these Yanks are doing coffee pretty well.
It's the only thing that gets me up.
It's all
You're
about the
terrible
water,
Scottish
don't you?
accent.
The water
Yeah,
here is
that's true, JC. The true, very true. The water does taste weird in America. I don't know why.
I think Sandra will be very glad that you brought Yorkshire tea. She's kind of like, she's indebted to you for getting your hands on Yorkshire tea. I think that is kind of a strong link between us.
Love it, love it, love it. This is so good. Now, there are names for things out there, but I quite like everybody to have some sort of say in what we're playing. So, do we have a name for this bookshop? Is there a bookshop name that we can kind of conjure up between us all that we want to sort of press upon?
Could it be something that kind of alludes to our Englishness or our Britishness, I should say, not Englishness?
Sure.
I was thinking it's like some sort of, there's American attempts to be British, and then we just come in and went, hey, no, this is how you do it.
Shakespeare
like
spelled
that
wrong,
idea.
or
It's like like that dreadful series of Arrested Development where they have to rewritten.
could they have like hammed up got like a quote from a book wrong, like, or out of context?
Or they've called it something really quintessentially, like cringily British, like I don't know, the Queen's
scone.
head, or the the Queen's post box. I don't know.
Queen's Library?
The Queen's Corgi.
Corgi. That's more of a pub name, isn't it? It'd have to. I guess it'd have to be something more bookish.
Yeah, but
like,
the Yanks wouldn't know that.
The side table.
The side table.
I like that. I like that a lot. Okay. We might even go with like I might combine some of these ideas. That's amazing. Okay, grand.
I might actually open up a bookshop now called the Side Table. That's it. I'm checking the job in. I'm like,
that's it. Why not? Why not? So the other questions that I have for you is there a rival book club?
all American. Or maybe there's I shouldn't say French, that's too obvious. There's strangely a French book club.
Keeping that animosity going, even like so many miles away.
We brought it with us. I told you I'm not drinking
French
French wine.
They're all like French detective archetypes, like Poirot and
yes,
Tintin. Oh, those are Belgium.
Look, you know.
Yes. Oh, it's all the same, though, isn't it? It's foreign, foreign detectives.
No, I will say, like, let's be careful about xenophobia here.
Yes.
It's me sort of like just trying to make sure that we are kind of being polite, but we understand as people who live in England that there is a weird kind of animosity towards the French.
I do really like the idea of having a rival like murder mystery club that is full of murder mystery archetypes, though. I don't know why, I think that'd be great. Like, and it could be of all, one of them's like Poirot, and then maybe one of them's like, like Luther, or just
they have a true crime podcast and we hate it.
Yeah, I kind of, maybe we all seem quite
come back to me when you've actually solved one.
Yes, and maybe they're a bit younger as well.
Yes.
Like maybe they're like in their 50s to 60s. They're a bit younger and maybe a bit hipper than us.
Kids, they've probably got like one old member. Like one member your age, and then that's
The
it.
little moustache.
Or maybe if we're all like 65 plus, maybe their oldest member is 64, you know, and it's sort of... But there's a divide.
And I think possibly Sandra was a little bit put out that she wasn't accepted into this younger club because most people think she's a little bit younger.
Yeah.
And she's like, she holds a little bit of resentment.
Yeah. I've got the idea that like one of them does wear a deerstalker hat in the same vein as like Sherlock. Yeah, that's gonna be hell fun to play with.
And if there is one that's a bit like Luther, I think we all fancy him. Basically, it's like everyone's got a crush on Luther.
Look, you can all fancy
so
him for all I care. All right, Luther the hottie. That's gone into my notes. But like, I'm not against like any of you like finding any description that I try to pull out of my head or giving me descriptions. Just like I wanna put something in there for me. I don't know what your character likes, and so if you want to put a character in there that's just like then I'm all for it. I am all for it. Great. Well, that went very, very quickly, which is so cool. What we will try and do is just resolve a couple of the things that you want to try and get to by the end of the first session. So you probably won't finish the mystery at the end of the first session. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. We don't know. Is there anything that you would like to try and do as a character? So the suggestions or the things that you can do are in a different window for me. There's a character somewhere. No, I didn't download the character thing, but I will go and do that now. So we have did you secretly undermine the authority of a local official? Did you share your wisdom with a young person? Did you share a memory of a late family member? Did you behave like a woman half your age? Did you dote on someone? Did you show someone that you've still got it? Now, these are very interpretive things. And, you know, I'm not going to punish anyone for not making it, but I think it's a great way to sort of push your character in a certain direction. And even if two of you are going for the same thing, it's fine.
Oh, I know I still got it. I just got to prove it.
Never lost it.
I love that.
What are you talking about? Still got it. I'm going to put that in as yours once I figure out how to work this spreadsheet. And you need one more, Lane, if you've got another idea. But if you don't, we can always come back.
I don't at the moment now.
Yeah, we can come back to you. Anybody have any ideas about what sort of goals they want to try and give to their character?
There was something about acting half the age, and I think that fits pretty well in. I can't remember what the full sentence was.
Did you behave like a woman half your age?
Your age, that's it. Yes, yeah.
Grand.
I think that's a good one for me as well.
Okay, grand. I'm locking these in as we go through it. But like they are.
Many sherries.
You don't have to have that weak shit. Just
aim for the hooch.
Yes, yeah.
I do like now. I've got like visions of like you kind of importing whiskey barrels.
And the sea's right there.
To be fair, in my own character notes that I've written for Teresa, I've literally put baking plus punching Nazis, also moonshine.
Yes. There you go.
These are always good. Anybody else have an idea about their potential goals?
I'd quite like to undermine some local authority.
Yeah. Of course you would.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. Why did I ever ask you that question? Yeah, that's great. It's grand. Couple more to go. Any more for any more?
Not that I can think of.
Are these on the list anyway, just to kind of provoke some ideas?
Yes. They are in the character sheet, black and white, blank _ character _ sheet BW, and they are in the end of session in the middle section.
Oh, yes, yeah.
And like I say, they won't really kind of make much difference, but I think it's just a kind of a flavor that you can aim towards.
I think Blothwyn would also like to behave like a woman half her age. You know, she's really looking forward to this speed dating she's got next Sunday.
Nice.
And maybe impart wisdom with a young person.
Okay.
They probably didn't ask for that wisdom.
Young people never do.
No, they don't realise they need it. I think Sander will look to dote on someone.
Nice. Because I was going to ask Bloodwin whether she wanted to kind of like take that dating like out of the interactive world and into the real world. Lovely. I think we are very nearly there. So to give you a recap, we have Grace, the wonderful Grace O'Hara, who dresses like in boating attire, like kind of like upper class boating attire, into bird watching, has current goals of secretly undermining a local authority, and I've got sharing a memory of a late family member, but if that's not comfortable, yeah.
Yes, I was just about to say that's the one other one.
We have Sandra, still no last name for Sarah, that's okay. Sandra, which is currently the sporty spice, I'm going to say.
Yeah. Sporty spice.
Over 60 sporty spice in shell suits, garish, and with a perm into their pottery. And currently has behaving like a woman half their age and doting on someone as their goals, as her goals, should I say. Going back through, we have Teresa McIntyre, who is turtlenecks, long skirts, and punk jackets, especially things to do with punching Nazis. Into baking and moonshine as a side note, which is always good. Then did you show someone you've still got it, and did you behave like a woman half your age? And last but by no means least, we have Blodwyn Jones, our hobby collector, mostly dressed in dungarees and crafty attire, into crafting, and their current goals are behaving like a woman half their age and sharing wisdom with a young person. This all sounds amazing.
Surname. Stokes. Sandra Stokes.
Sandra Stokes. Great. Wonderful. And if you come up with anything like kind of in the meantime, if you want to kind of just say like in canon that you've got X number of children or whatever children, like we can run that in. They probably won't be coming in the story, but if you want to talk about them like that they do exist, they can exist. It's just that simple. There's no real major rules about that. So let me kind of take you through the potential mystery that you're going to be doing. And then we'll take like a little break and we'll have like a little interactive role play part between all of you. And that might be us for today. We will be playing like a very beginner mystery called Dad Overboard. It takes place on the water, and the history behind it is that there is a bunch of very upper class, very well-to-do people come into town to take advantage of the town's kind of facilities, and they do it every year. But for some reason, the male figure of the family has died and gone overboard and turned up drowned. And we will go through this once again, kind of when we start the actual mystery. But just to give you an idea, it is a fairly simple mystery, and it's aimed to kind of be like a really good start of the game. It is of complexity 6, which basically means when you roll your theorized move, you take the complexity and you take the number of clues that you've got, and you -1 from the other, and that will give you then total score plus minus your including your roll. So I think you're going to need at least about 4 or 5 clues to solve it, roughly. If you want to solve it easily, aim for 5, 6 clues. If you want to solve it early, like 4 clues, depending on like who you're actually suspicious about. We can work out what it is. But we won't go through the suspects. I'll introduce them to you when you meet them. But we do have like some suggested locations, and we can go anywhere in the town. The town is a seaside town, and we can create like ice cream shops if you want. We can create like tchotchke shops. We can create like one of those hippie stores where you can buy all of the incense that you could ever want.
I've heard they sell edibles.
yeah, and it's really kind of like we're very open. But places like the marina, the fish market, the back of the fish market, and the actual yacht itself will come mostly into play. But you can go anywhere. But those will be the places where you want to focus your attention. So those again are the marina, the fish market, the back of the fish market, well, the fish market in its total, but there's a slightly different feel about the back of the fish market, and of course the yacht. Anything else you want to do there? And it's all just down to solving the crime. Maybe there's a crime. But what we'll do is we'll take a little break. We'll take a 15-minute break, and we'll come back and we'll figure out like what's the most recent thing that the Murder Mavens have done. We'll catch them in their element for the at the back of the bookshop, which I will come up with a complete title for in the next 15 minutes. We will transition over them. But until then, have a break, go for a wee, make a cup of tea, do whatever you want. Nathan, can we transition over to a break, please? Waiting. Thank you. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back. Welcome back. I've made myself a salted caramel Lebkuchen tea, which is just like so good. I'm gonna promo Bird and Blend. This stream is not sponsored by Bird and Blend, but they should sponsor me because I drink so much of their tea. So I'm willing to be a willing partner for them. Anyway, welcome back to the stream. We are beginning to play Brindlewood Bay, and up until now we have been creating our wonderful array of characters and talking about their pasts and talking about them as people a little bit. And I'm sure you all have kind of like, we've all suggested some sort of ideas about like kind of what they look like in their own little ways. And I always think that the best way to kind of get to know each other as characters is just to be in character, just a hell of a lot. So I'm going to pitch a question to you. It is the evening before your book club. So your book club, do you think your book club takes place as an afternoon thing, as a morning thing, as an evening thing?
I have a feeling it's not evening. I think we're probably a bit too old for evening. I don't know about the other time today, but
I think probably late afternoon going into however we decide to stay up until.
yes,
Nice.
at least 5.
Yeah. I reckon it's at that time where probably there's almost it's almost like an awkward time, you know, sort of 5 p.m. ish, where actually really should be, most of us are usually having dinner at that point. So, you know, which is why we all make sure we bring lots of food to it, and it's sort of like our little dinner time booky clubby thing. And then a lot of us go, you know, have a couple of, you know, shots of moonshine and go home to bed. But then maybe sometimes we stay late and get as rowdy as a bunch of 70-year-olds can.
If it's that late, have we got to the point where we actually pester the bookshop to stay open for us? It's kind of like they're a little bit afraid not to keep it open because these kind of like slightly rowdy old British women or UK women kind of insist it stays open a little longer.
It could be one of those, like, I don't know, like unheard of bookshops that stay open till 8, like most days, like, which I would love. That would be great.
Same. That means I could actually go there after work.
Exactly, right? Yeah.
Do you think it's one of those, like, really sort of like, really, it was supposed to be marketed as this really like hip, stylish bookshop that stays open late and maybe serves coffee, and wanted to really tailor itself to the younger crowd, but actually what it's ended up being is just the sort of haunting grounds of a group of like British Isles murder mystery solvers. And it's completely missed the mark.
I love it. I love that idea. JC, do you have anything to add? Sorry. I feel like I always like to try and check in with people just to make sure that
no, I like it. It's sort of like
about.
If it's like a British or a European style bookshop, that sort of appeals to sort of American hipsters who think
Nathan,
that's really
I don't
cool.
know what it is, but I can't hear JC. But maybe it's just a technical thing. Maybe it's me.
It's coming through on mine.
I can, yeah.
There we go. I just hard refreshed.
JC.
Ah, great. Now I can hear. Just me then.
Hello.
I will do a refresh. Bear with me. There might be a technical glitch. Help!
That's me doing a thing.
Technical issues. We'll return shortly.
We need one of those kind of screen card things with the girl and the doll.
Yeah.
The
Oh, hold on. I can just do my radio presence if I so. Stand by, listeners. We may have technical issues here. We're working behind the scenes to get them done as fast as possible. We thank you for your patience.
Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Right. I'm back. Hello.
Can you hear
JC,
everybody?
Yes, I'm just going to focus on JC because yes, I can. Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, because that was the weird thing. I could see you
Hey.
talking on Twitch. I'm like, what? What's going on? Anyway, technical problems resolved.
No.
Thank you. So anything you said, I have no idea.
Yes, I was just backing up the sort of the failed hipster coffee shop vibe, because it's sort of like it's like a European style bookshop that stays
Love
open. But they've taken over. It's our
Cool. Other questions I can ask about this world. What do the Mavens do when they're not at book club? Do they meet every day, or is it just like a once a week thing, and then they might hang out from time to time?
I have a feeling Sandra doesn't have much else to do here because she's fairly new to the place, so she perhaps at least tries to pester the others to do something, to join her in a morning jog or something.
Oh yeah, I'll join you on the morning jog occasionally. You know, if you can catch me awake. But I don't get up before 9. That just don't happen.
Which is late for an old lady.
Yeah.
I got to get my beauty sleep. Not that I need it, but I gotta get it.
Love it.
Bloody hell. You get up that late? Come on. Up at the crack of dawn, love.
No, up at the crack of dawn, love. No. Look, I'm not human for an hour after I wake up. So the more that I delay that, the better it is for all of yous.
Oh, just not a side I want to see, I must admit. It's scary enough with you just as you are. If you're any less human, oh my god.
Thanks, love.
Love it. Sandra tries to hang out with Mavens quite a lot. Great. I'm writing all this down. I'm sure it's all very useful in some way, shape, or form.
My early morning jogs will bite me in the derriere at some point.
Also writing that down.
I'm trying to channel
Personally,
my
I
prudish
cannot buy
side here.
jogging. I don't see the point. Why on earth would you want to go running for fun? That sounds mad.
Oh, don't stay looking this young and beautiful, you know, without doing things like that. You've got to put yourself out there, Blodwyn, you know.
Oh, don't you worry, Sandra. I'm putting myself out there plenty.
Grand. I'm just going to write that down there. Putting herself out there.
Plenty.
These phrases are great.
Grace, would you join me for a little morning constitutional?
Well, I am usually up at the crack of dawn, you see, but I'm usually up at the crack of dawn, but it's more to go up the coast to the cliffs and see the wee birdies.
Nice.
Oh, that does sound beautiful.
And I keep trying to drag you with me.
Oh, I'd love to go. That's fantastic. Love to.
Got an old pair of binoculars to borrow,
Nice.
and I'll tell you which ones they all are.
I think that Sandra may
round here. I love a pigeon.
Pigeons, the worst of birds, in my opinion. Right up there with seagulls. God, I hate them. No. All birds are equal. I'm sure.
Some birds.
All birds are equal in my hatred.
Yeah, there's some birds I have more dislike for. That's my own personal trauma coming through. Like London trauma from pigeons and Bristol trauma from seagulls.
I had Belfast seagull trauma when I lived in Belfast. I had one attack me, and used to always attack me in the same place every day when I walked past.
They will do that.
Yeah.
Territorial little buggers. So I think that Alexandra may have like been changing her jogging route to kind of like drop in on Grace, kind of like on the route through.
Nice.
It's like a real nice kind of like. Then you get to hang out for a little bit.
You coming along?
And then you jog
No
off
rest for
again.
the wicked. Just running on the spot just outside somebody's house, see if they want to come out with me.
Yeah.
My little pint cup dumbbells. So pint.
You
pint
go
jug.
ahead there, Sandra. You go ahead.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I'm looking for a thing whilst I am sort of slightly stalling and also looking for a thing, but also like this is really good world building.
You
So
see,
I'm feeling-
Grace, what you want to do is you want to make yourself a load of bird feeders like I have, stick them in your garden, and then you can do the bird watching from the comfort of your own settee. I've got plenty in my garden. I've got robins,
You know very
I've
well.
got tits, I've got woodpeckers, I've got pigeons.
Oh, you got pigeons. Oh, that's lovely. Oh, I do love a pigeon. It takes me right back home. That does a nice pigeon.
No, you know very well I've got plenty of feeders in my garden.
By the way, slight note, this is what I was looking for, a piece of information. So the mysteries that you are fond of are collectively called the Gold Crown Mysteries.
Oh.
They are written by someone called Robin Masterson. That's Robin Masterson. And the globe-trotting super sleuth is Amanda Delacourt. So those might be useful bits of information for you to hang on to.
Who writes them again? Sorry,
Yeah, Robin Masterson.
Robin Masterson. Thank you.
Robin. It's not declared whether Robin is male or female or gender neutral. So whatever's in your head is correct. It might be a pen name for somebody. We don't know.
That was a very subject of very heated discussion for about an hour between us.
Yeah.
She
I
writes
kind of
like
like.
a woman. It's very, it's it's very fluid and flowing language. I'm sure it's a lady.
I like the idea that maybe one of us has secretly met them, and I can imagine Grace being the person who secretly met them and secretly knows, but will never tell because they're sort of sworn to secrecy.
It's funny to watch the others fumble.
Yeah.
There is.
Maybe you're right, Sandra. Maybe you're right.
Yeah, there is a Maven move called Thomas Magnum that says that you are a secret personal friend of Robin Masterson.
Oh, is that?
Like, I mean, I'm like nothing that we've set down is kind of concrete, and so I'm just going to throw that out there that there is a Maven move out there that suits that. Should you wish to, it probably won't come into use for this particular mystery, but it's a good one to kind of throw in. Great. Tell me about your personal abodes. Tell me about like your homes. We've already discovered that Bloodwind keeps a lot of seed in the garden. Is it a well-kept garden, Bloodwind?
Oh no, not at all. Not even slightly. Bloodwind's idea of gardening is every spring she takes a couple of the packets of wildflowers that you get from the local Asda, and she just sprinkles them everywhere and just leaves the garden to do what it wants, really. Except it wouldn't be Asda, would it be Walmart, because we're in America now.
Yeah. Or Target or somewhere like that. I don't know.
Target, yeah. Target own brand flowers. Just sprinkle, bit of water. That's all they need.
I love it. Do you have like a lot of things pinned up of all of your little crafty bits?
Oh, and secretly, the ones that take pride of place are actually craft things that other people have made. You know, that's one way to Bloodwind's heart. Either bake for her, absolutely, or make something.
Give her something crafty.
Yeah,
nice.
Because she sees the value. She sees like the sort of like, because all of her creations, some of them are a bit wonky, but like a lot of love has gone into them. So she recognizes that like love and care in other people's creations, be it cooking or crafting or written or anything.
Love it. Whilst we're just sort of focusing on Bloodwind, does anybody have a question for Bloodwind that we would like to ask Meg and like kind of just spitball some stuff?
What's your favourite, baked good, so I could bring that along more frequently?
I mean, ideally, it's got to be a nice slice of Barrabrith. All right, and when you bake Barrabrith, right, you got to make sure it's nice and dense, and you got to serve it with salted butter and a nice little thin slice of cheddar cheese. That's the ideal. But to be honest,
cheddar cheese over here, good fucking luck.
I know. I don't think that's it's. I mean, ideally it needs to be made by my great aunt, my great aunt Zelda. I'm gonna go with Zelda. I don't know why. My great aunt Zelda makes the best Barrabrith, but she's been dead like 40 years now. So But aside from Barrabrith, because I've been saying Barrabrith quite a lot now, I like a good Welsh cake. I also like a nice scone. And especially a bit of jam and a bit of clotted cream, just anything really. If it's baked, I'll eat it.
Right, croissants, got it.
I like a nice croissant now and again.
I mean, who doesn't like a croissant? I mean, so what you like about the French, but they get baked goods. They do that pretty well.
Aye.
Ooh, nice bit of flaky pastry.
Oh, yes. Oh, I do love it.
Wonderful.
It's really hard not to accidentally catch the Scottish accent when I'm talking about Elaine.
We've chosen some infectious accents. It's great. I love it. I support it wholeheartedly.
Bloodwind, is there anything you really like crafting? Like, I know you're kind of a jack of all trades, but is there anything just really takes your fancy?
Oh, I'd say I come back to crochet quite a lot.
Ooh.
I like to think of myself as an expert hooker.
Is that why you're on those apps?
Knit one pearl necklace. Is that what we're talking about?
Filth.
I don't know what you mean.
Filth. I love it. Okay, great. I'm going to come around to all of you and ask you questions and like kind of just like open the questions. Like, feel free to chat amongst yourselves. But let's move on to Grace, JC. Could you tell us a little bit about Grace's home, like how it's laid out, or anything that might be just of interest?
Yeah, I think she has like an old fisherman's cottage down near the harbour, and it's the house she shared with her and Michael. And now it's like a very much the grandma's house. Full of other grandwains coming around when their parents are away at work.
Is it dilapidated? Is it quite well looked after?
I don't think she's a real sort of handy homebody, so it's probably needs a bit of TLC.
I can imagine it's
And there's
fastidiously
like
tidy though.
patches in. Yeah, but there's like patches in the wall that I've covered with the various like macrame and crochet things that I've got from Blothwyn.
There'll be a lot.
Grand. Does anyone have a question for Grace at all?
What's your favourite bird, Grace?
Oh, no, don't get me started. we was talking about the bird feeders before, but there's one bird that I never get in my garden, but I've always wanted to see, and that's the heath hen.
The heath hen?
Now they say it went extinct back in 1932, but I reckon I've heard it out there on the moors.
Much of a chance that you'll find it out here? Or am I going to have to get it imported for you?
Well, this was the last place there was. Well, if it's anywhere by here, because this is the last place it was ever seen alive before it went extinct.
Okay. Possible extinct birds. I like it.
Now, the people on my Facebook group say going a bit batty for thinking it's like there, but I know it is.
I mean, how else do you prove that a bird is extinct unless you don't see it? Like, how else?
Okay. Bugger the dad overboard. We're going to go find this heath hen.
The mystery of the heath hen.
Subplot. This is kind of where the H.P. Lovecraft comes in. Like, it's like the birds have vanished. Exactly.
The undead.
Exactly.
The undead extinct bird.
Are now serving a greater god. To say the least.
The heath hen was Cthulhu all along.
Any other questions for Grace?
Not that I can think of at the moment.
Okay. Right.
What's the one thing you can't abide?
Ooh, good question. If you don't know, JC, then like it's something we can always come back to.
I can't abide a liar now. People who are disingenuous. People who keep secrets.
I like it.
You're gonna hate this mystery.
What was your deceased, your former partner's boat called? Your husband's?
Oh, that's a good question.
Nice.
The Saint Bridget.
Writing, frantically typing. It's all good. Okay. If there are no other questions for Grace, we will move on. Let's move on to Teresa.
Aye.
Right. Let's figure it out. What can we ask? What can we ask Teresa? What do you enjoy a Kaylee? When was the last time Teresa Kayleed? Has Teresa Kayleed?
What?
You know, a musical jam in the pub.
It's the kind of organized military style dance that usually happens.
Okay.
Like it's very kind of like there's usually a caller that says, oh, you know, kind of do this do-si-do and do this move and do that move, and it's all in 8 time. It's all like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2. It's very traditional Scottish, and I'm a big fan of it. So hence why I'm asking.
I think so. I think it's kind of like this is what I'm sort of known for at the pub, aside from being, you know, rowdy. I will get these going. Yeah.
In all fairness, so Bath actually do have a Ceilidh social, and I have been to one before, dragged along by my very good friend Carrie, and they do get a bit rowdy.
Yeah, they're great fun. They're really great fun. They're very energetic. You kind of come out of it feeling like you've been in the gym for half an hour and sweating. But yeah, it's a process.
How many Nazis have you squashed?
Oh well, you see, a lot of the people like sort of when I'm giving advice, my sort of advice is if you smack them like with the head, the brains don't get on the floor or on your back.
Wow.
Jesus Christ, man.
And to that extent, she has a baseball bat with nails in it above her door that just has notches in it.
Do.
There's never an exact number. It changes every time. But it's always
Wouldn't want to wake you up on the wrong side of the bed.
So we've got one old lady that puts notches on her bedpost and one old lady that puts notches on a bat. I'm okay with that. It's fine. It's fine.
I could work with that.
No, this is fine. I love it. Well, this is great character building. Any other questions for Teresa?
What
What
brought you to Brindlewood?
Oh no,
from the old country.
Go ahead, JC.
What brought me here?
I see.
Well,
what brought you to Brindlewood?
My wife was American. She didn't kind of come back from the war, so you know I'm getting. Which I just wanted to live where she lived for a bit, and then I kind of just stayed here. Went to visit, kind of just stayed, and you know, the Americans love their veterans and their soldiers. So, oh no, poor me, the soldier's wife was left alone. Oh no. And they just kind of let me stay.
Oh, that's really sweet. You kind of moved to get closer to her roots.
Oh yeah, and there's this really nice nice little cave down by the cove. Don't tell the cops about it. But there's this.
A few dead Nazis in there.
Oh, not there. My still's in there.
On those nights when the wind blows in a certain direction, you can smell gin.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. Any other questions for Teresa?
Just one. If you ever want a spot of spelunking, I'm right there with you. I wouldn't mind seeing inside of your cave.
Oh my! Oh my! Oh my!
This has got spicy.
I don't know about
Although
that.
I did go again. It's a little bit of Scottish at the end.
It's fine. I support you in this, Megan. I support you wholeheartedly.
For the gin, of course. For the gin.
Ah, yeah. Right.
Anything for the gin.
I don't know about any of the other caves down, but that one's mine. And we can...
It's personal. Great. I'm going to turn this over to Sandra, if that's all good. And so far we have early morning jogging and tries to hang out with the Mavens a lot because they've not been in town for so long. Any other questions that we would like to pose to Sandra?
I have a house where I live. If you enter it,
please.
So I'm thinking I have a fairly modern apartment down on the marina or downtown or something, but small, kind of very small, kind of. Most of my things are still unpacked. It feels very a little bit bare, a little bit empty. There is on a mantelpiece or some kind of whatever modern apartments have that are the equivalent of a mantelpiece. There is a picture of Stanley and of my son and daughter. I've got down as Patrick and Demi. And then kind of out of plates are kind of like little old lady chintz, which are mainly the crochet and other crafted objet d'art from Blodwyn. But otherwise, it seems quite empty and
love it.
Like white walls, cream walls.
Love it.
Yeah.
I imagine very like stylish, you know, very very well curated.
Yes. Yeah. But kind of but still lots of you open a wardrobe and it's just shell suits.
The time capsule within the modern home.
Yes.
Somewhere there's a rotary phone that's not hooked up to anything.
And lots of those little like, you know, there's like crystal ornaments. There's crystal ornaments everywhere, you know, that have all been bought from like family members and things, you know, because they know you like them, so that's what you get all the time.
Yeah, a smell of burnt sage kind of just lingers in the air a little bit.
Love it. Okay, Lane, you were going to say something.
Oh no, I was just like, where do you buy these? I would not even know where to get some of these. These are like 30 to 40 years old. Where?
Well, in the market in Redditch.
Redditch.
When I saw them, I just thought, look, I'll buy the old lot. They're beautiful.
Okay.
I mean, fair play is on you for keeping them up for that long, but that's got to be a full-time job in itself.
Oh, they need brushing down. You know, you've got to make sure the moths don't get in because they do love a bit of crinoline. You know, especially these New England moths.
That's the local football team.
The New England moths.
Yeah. Oh, I've had a few. No, I haven't had a few. I gather Blodwyn's had a couple of the New England moths in her.
Well, you know.
Well, that's what they
American
say.
American football's quite a bit like rugby, and I do like myself a rugby player.
Love it. I've written that
It's
down.
not the same, but it's close enough.
Okay. If there's no more questions, I'm going to put all of this, like these notes, in a document and share it with you, just so that you've got everything that I've written down, except for the bits which I'm keeping for myself. It's information. It's good information. But I'll write this up over the next day or so. If there's no other questions, we will move on to what happens inside the bookshop. That's where we will go. Okay. It is about 4:30 in the afternoon. You have showed up at your regular haunt, the British side table, the classic but modern hipster bookshop, which has been sitting. It sits on the main street of in Brindlewood Bay. It's like, or not quite a high street, but like it sits there on the main street. It's next door to a grab-and-go coffee shop. And on the opposite side, there's an ice cream parlor. And we can come up with names for ice cream parlors wherever we want. But yeah, at the back of the shop, you know that there's your particular room that you rent on a regular basis. You arrive at the shop. Who arrives at the shop first? That's the question I'm going to ask you.
We all know it's Sandra.
Yeah.
Oh, looks like I'm early again. Where are these ladies taking their time?
Great.
Who runs the bookshop? Who do I? Dingle, ding, 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 ding. Has it got a little kind of dinging bell that when I open the?
Yeah, you go through. There's a little dinging bell. There's like, it's maybe about half full, perhaps. There's probably about, maybe 40 seats. It's probably, half-ish full, just under half full. There's plenty of people sitting on their laptops, just kind of tippy-tapping away. There's people just sitting, having a chat, and you notice behind the counter, there is a tall lady with very long dark hair, kind of eyebrow piercing, looking very bored, with over accentuated kind of makeup on, and she's like looking very bored and just cleaning mugs, and she'll look up as soon as you come in. She's like, "Oh, hey Sandra, you're early again."
Well, I'd like to think I'm on time, actually, but you're right, I'm early. Could I have one of those cups, please? And I kind of just bring out my thermos.
The look she gives you. She's like, you have to buy something. Like, it's part of the deal.
Oh, have you got any sugar? So I forgot to bring some sugar with me. Just a teaspoon. I only need a teaspoon. What's that? 10 cents?
Sugar's free, honey. Like.
I know, but I would feel bad if I took it for free. I feel like I should pay for something.
Okay, all right. She says, "I'm sure the others will be here soon, but your room's in use at the moment." Yeah.
But I'm here on time. What do you mean it's in use?
You're early. I mean, they're late, but you're early.
I mean, it's one or the other. I'll be there later. I'm early, or if cancels each other out. And like I said, I'm bang on time.
She hands you a small saucer that's got like 2 brown sugar cubes on it, and they're kind of rough cut brown sugar cubes. And she's like, "There you go." Yeah.
Who are they anyway? I'll just take a seat over here and.
And she's like, "Well, it's the other book club. The
what now?
The detective. I thought you knew."
They moved in here.
Yeah.
I'll wait till the ladies hear about this. What a fine happening.
Who arrives next? I mean, you can arrive together. You can arrive separately. It's up to you.
I think I'd arrive next, kind of like a.
Yeah.
You're fucking jogging too quick.
If you got up a bit earlier and did it once every day, you wouldn't feel this way,
Yeah, well, yeah.
Anyway, take his news. A bit of gossip. Got to hear this.
What?
Do you want a cup of tea, or do you want some of this Lipton stuff they serve here? No offense, June.
Hey, Julie, Death Wish coffee.
God, it's 5 o'clock. You want a coffee?
Yeah.
You'll be up all night.
Yeah. I'm nocturnal. That's what people say, right?
Oh yes, in bird circles.
Right. Yeah.
You've been hanging out with Grace for too long. Staying up till all hours, keeping your eyes out for the little...
All right. Keep your jealousy to yourself.
The nightlark, you know.
The nightlark. Anyway, you never guess who's moved in on our place.
Who?
The other people, the younger crowd.
Oh, them fuck. Oh, okay, right. Well, it is 4:30, and we do have the room at 5.
It's 4. I thought we were booked in for 4:31. Have I been getting here early every week?
Yeah, every week. Why am I doing this?
Oh, Teresa, just
you are handed a cup of steaming black, like Java-like coffee.
Thank you.
And like you're offered a small jug of milk on the side. You wave it away. That goes back where it should be. JC, Megan, would you like to come to the party, so to speak?
I can go next if you like.
Hi, ladies.
Let's also hear from JC, Megan. Just one sec. I think there's a bit of a delay on JC's side, so I'm trying to cater for that.
Yes.
So yeah.
So Grace wanders in through the door. Hi, ladies. I've brought the tea bag.
You bought the good shit.
Oh, in fact, we'll just need some hot water off Julie now, and we'll be sorted for the rest of the evening. Wonderful work. You don't mind, do you, Julie? Just a bit more hot water.
Julie,
Thanks, love.
could you make sure it's from the filter, please? Not the tap or the faucet, as you'd say.
The faucet. I know. What is the faucet anyway? I knew it. Do you remember? Oh no, you wouldn't there. I knew a lady called Fawcett back in the day. She lived at number 53. She was a strange lady. Very strange.
I love this. I love that you're already the bane of Julie's life, all of you.
I am paying for I paid for mine, and then when any unreasonable demands are made, I'm just like, more money across.
Wonderful. Julie also kind of gives you a look, Grace, and just sighs. And she says, we can get hold of tea here. We can put in a special order for you.
I take care of my own special orders, darling.
Sure.
Just a pot with some water would be good. Thank you so much.
She'll lazily grab a tall cup and kind of stick it under the steamer and hand you a screaming hot cup of water.
I've got a spare sugar cube if you want.
Oh, thanks.
Great. No, that was for Grace, actually, for bringing this cup of tea, for bringing the Yorkshire tea.
Hey,
actually.
I paid for this.
Teresa, look, this is Grace's sugar.
3 more sugar cubes arrive at the desk. It's just they're just placed there, on a small saucer. Because Julie, I think by this time, because you've been coming here a while, she knows what's coming. She knows what's happening. Let's bring Megan, aka Blodwyn, into the scene.
Right, I'd say Blodwyn comes in a couple of minutes late and slightly flustered. Oh, hi loves. I'm sorry I'm a bit late. The knitting kittens group, it ran over a little bit. Hey Julie, how you doing? Hey Julie, do you have any of those flapjacks in today? I'd love a flapjack. I could murder a bloody flapjack right now. Oh, the day I've had. Oh no, none of that coffee shit. No, thank you. Just a flapjack, please, love.
Julie looks to the desk, and there is like this like amazing like looking granola bar that's like sticky and sweet looking. And she'll pick one off and put it onto a green plate that's got like a little floral arrangement around it. It's a very kind of like strange
cracking.
plate. She'll hand it over.
Sandra, Grace, Teresa, do you want a flapjack?
Well, look,
I'm
like it's
good.
from the Stoke Potteries. Is that all the way from Stoke? There, Julie. That's a fine piece of pottery.
Tell you what, Julie, put 4 flapjacks on. Let's do 4. We'll have something to eat while we natter.
Well, it's funny you should mention nattering. You never guess what Julie just told me.
What?
You know that younger crowd. You know they're the mystery group. They fancy themselves a bit of detectives.
Oh, is that one with that bloke? Reminds me of Luther off the telly. Oh, he's a bit of a right ears. I don't. What's his name? I don't know. Luther. We'll just call him Luther for now. That's who he reminds me of. Oh, that one.
I know he's butted a few of your crumpets before, love. But
oh, I wish. I bloody wish, Sandra.
But anyway, they've moved in on our patch.
No.
Yeah, they're in the room. They're overrunning.
You're having a laugh. No. They're in our room right now.
In our room.
Those cheeky buggers. Cheeky buggers.
I think.
Julie, what are you doing allowing that to rattle in here?
Julie looks at the watch and she says, "You've still got like 10 minutes. There's still 10 minutes."
Like, oh, have we? I thought we started at 4:30.
It's 5 every week. It's 5.
It's 4. That's what I said.
Sandra's been telling me. Sandra's been telling me 4:30.
I love that this is kind of
time
like
and tea. Wait for no detective. I've told you this before.
They've had to tell you this because they know that you're like always late, and you're just like they're just like trying to set it like half an hour earlier. It's like this is.
But now everyone's arriving half an hour earlier.
Julie, do you know what they're talking about in there? Have they got whiff of anything interesting?
And she pulls a book out of the desk and she looks through it. She says, like, we've written in Hound of the Baskervilles, but yeah.
I've only just got round to the Hound of the Baskervilles. What have they been?
It's only been out 100 years.
Oh God! I mean, that's just like Mystery 101, really, isn't it, ladies? Amateurs.
Winnie the Pooh's going to be public domain by the time they get to the rest of them.
What are we doing? Like, I don't want to push you on in story. Like, this is great. Are you gonna like wait 10 minutes, or are you going to intrude? Are you going to meddle a little bit? Dare I ask?
Look, I think we'd have to wait for Grace first before we, I think Grace would be like, yeah, none of us would feel confident enough without all 4 of us together.
Well, Grace is here too. She brought the tea.
Oh, of course, Grace is here too. Oh, sorry, Grace.
She's eating one of your flapjacks, love.
Oh, hi.
I pass you. I reach into my handbag and I pull out a cloth for your glasses. I'm like, it's like it's a bit raggedy. I'm like,
oh, I'm sorry, Grace. I didn't see you there, my love. I'm in a bit of a muddle today. Oh, I see you brought the good.
Your mind's on Luther.
Brought the good tea though. I'll have a bit of that, thanks.
More hot water, please, Julie.
Julie, none of them have worked customer service. I'm so sorry.
Do you think we should what they do in here on our patch? I feel a little bit put out, really. I don't know about you, but they can't be up to any good, sure.
Should we go on in there then? We could maybe see what we're up against.
Why?
Put your ear up against the door, Teresa.
Why me?
Because yeah, it's a good question actually. I don't know. I just feel like if anything was to happen, you'd put up a good argument.
I mean, yeah, I use like a good argument, facts and logic.
Facts and logic it is.
Or because I can see you're set on this. We could just go in and see how they think the Hound of Baskervilles is an actual dog.
Love it. Love it.
Grace leans over to Blothwyn and is like, "I thought it was an actual dog." Is it not?
No, love. Not an actual dog. But we won't tell Theresa that. Don't you worry. Be our little secret. I love that. It's great.
So good. So good.
Well, I've
Your
never
timing
never
on that,
been good
JC,
with
as well. It's just like,
never been good with the subtext.
Oh. So good. Okay. I guess you're going over. Like, I
I'd
don't
like a
want to
few
force
more
you.
sugar cubes and just put it on the plate before I kind of.
Okay.
Thanks, Julie, love.
Is it like a closed room, or is there like a glass pane or anything like that sort of separating it?
Yeah, I'm going to say there's a glass sliding pane, and but it is like a little like alcove like room at the back. So there's more seats here, but it's got like a little sliding panel that because they know that you guys get a bit raucous in your discussions about the books, that they had to have soundproofed the glass and had to like kind of make sure that it's sort of at least, so you can't really hear anything coming through the door, but you do see a sign, like a written up sign, a bit of A4 that's stuck with a bit of blue tack that says the detective agency. Just like it's kind of on there.
They're calling themselves a detective agency now.
Oh no.
The ghoul.
Oh.
The absolute ghoul of it.
You can see 4 people sat around the table, and they're kind of like all got like a copy of the book, and they're also like having like a discussion. You can see that the discussion's kind of like quite intense.
I can't believe they'd have the bollocks. I mean, we're the one with the actual ex-cop. Sort of gesturing to Grace.
What even are they anyway? I don't know what they're what they do.
I just imagine we're sort of chat like.
Grace is just going to rap on the glass.
Oh. An old lady, kind of like a lady of roughly your age. We discussed that there is somebody who's 64, not 65. And you know this lady to be Pearl. She's got a kind of a slight blue rinse going. But she's looking like fairly kind of well-to-do. She's got like a nice like dress on with a nice brooch necklace, and so she looks up and sighs. You can see her sort of like her shoulders kind of sink a little bit, and then gets up and pulls the door. Yes.
Oh, Pearl, it's lovely to see you, and I'm loving what you've done with your hair. Is that new?
Yes, my dear. Yes. We've still got 5 minutes. Yes.
Oh, I'm dreadful sorry to interrupt. I just think we had this room booked from 4:30.
No, it's from 5. We're running a little bit late. I usually like to have a little changeover, but like, yeah, we're finishing up very soon.
Okay.
Hey, Grace, ask them how long they've been coming here.
Just wondering why you're why's your wee agency come to the side table now? Did they kick you out of the kindergarten?
She takes a deep breath and she's like, sadly, there's been some changes in the schedule for the kindergarten. They've put on some after-school activities, and the room's no longer available. But Julie's been great at putting us up. So she's just like, yeah, like we're here. And,
Oh, Julie's the best.
We like her a lot, and she makes great coffee, and yeah.
Sat over still on my own table because I didn't go with them. Because I stay in the kindergarten. That's where your comprehension level's at.
Have you already dipped into like the secret stash? And you're like, that's a coffee plus a wee little hit flask. There we go.
I'll
don't
lean
mind
into
Teresa, you know how she is.
She's like, that woman's so uncouth. Such language in Brindlewood Bay of all sorts. Wonder why they think.
Hey, I heard, Pearl, that you're reading Hound of the Baskervilles today. How are you finding it?
That's right. Yes. I think it's like one of the better Sherlock books. I think it's one of the better works.
Nice.
We don't really like. We tried the whole gold murder mysteries. I can't remember what they're called now.
Would you Gold Crown?
Yes, we tried them. We tried the Gold Crown mysteries, but they're just not as good. That
This is
Robin
why I
nice.
couldn't join your group. This is why I couldn't join your group, Pearl. I remember that first meeting when you said you didn't want me there. It was me that didn't want you there, actually. Not liking a bit of Robin Masterson. I mean, the language is beautiful. The mysteries, they are, spectacular.
And don't you find Sherlock Holmes just a little bit, stuffy? Although, Pearl, I imagine you're quite at home with the stuffy.
She looks quite hurt. This is just like, no, but it's the right thing. It's Robin Masterson's too risque, too much. Just I like to keep it like.
No, keep that slander out your mouth.
Don't get me wrong. Some of the double entendres go a little bit too far for my taste
a
as
single
well.
word against Delacourt.
I love that you guys are picking on me. This is great. Like this is what I want. This is the energy that I want.
You can
I want
say
to
you're
roll
an
an old woman being
Anglophile.
bullied.
That's okay.
I mean, Pearl probably is an Anglophile. Yeah. That's probably definitely a thing. Yeah, she's probably got copies of Keeping Up Appearances on DVD at home, and she's quite fond of Hyacinth Bouquet.
Okay.
And watch the entire box set of The Crown.
yeah, on repeat.
It may be a bit riskier, Pearl, but at our age, anything to get that blood pumping, eh?
And she looks quite disgusted at this whole thing. She's like, dread the thought. She touches this the brooch on her neck and sort of twirls it round in her hand. You can see inside the brooch there's a cross. And she's like, oh, God forbid. No, not at my age. No, those days are over for me. No.
I can tell.
She's like, anyway, if you don't mind,
well, I think you'll find it's 5 o'clock now. Actually, it's taking up our time.
She takes a look
naysaying of Robin Masterson. It's it takes longer than you think.
Takes a look at her watch and sees that you are correct, and she's like, okay, let me just close the room here. And she steps back and closes the door, and you can see her go back and start to talk to the other people, and the other people are just they all look at their relevant watches. You can see the man that you've branded as Luther stand up, and he's this tall, like beautifully coiffed hair, and
Oh,
like
not a day
wearing
over
a
50.
suit. Like there's no need to wear a suit to a book club, but he's still wearing a suit.
He doesn't play by the book.
Exactly. And he tucks his copy of the
That's a
book.
good joke. That was nice and clean, Grace. I like that kind of humour.
It's beautiful. He tucks his book into his jacket. You can see one of the other people like tucks, like instead of tucking the book away, like actually folds it in half and bends the spine in half and then tucks it away. Exactly. I knew that would get one person. I didn't know who, but
Oh, I don't like that. I know it's just the out of the Baskervilles, but that's no way to treat a book, ladies.
and they all kind of the other two people plus Pearl and Luther kind of get up, and Pearl kind of opens the doors as well. Lovely to see you, ladies, and Hans. That's good to see you. Come back. And you can see that there's two other ladies of like in their sort of like mid to late 40s, I think, like come through the door, of no real significance, but we can focus on them if you want. I don't want to throw away things. And of course, the one you know as Luther has now been named Hans, kind of comes through.
So one of the other kind of 40-year-old ladies, I've done my makeup a bit like hers. And so I don't know whether she notices, because I've kind of met them briefly before, and I've kind of just copied her style.
Great. Can you describe this makeup to me?
Oh, that's not fair.
Okay, we can workshop it. We can globally workshop it. It's all good. I don't want to put it on you.
It's not my strong suit, I would say. Describing makeup styles.
Potentially, it's probably Sandra's strong suit either.
I imagine it's quite heavy. I've heard that phrase used in makeup. It's heavy makeup.
Love it.
Like a dark purple. Maybe it's a dark purple kind of one that here. See, now I'm getting into it. I'm just like, okay, actually, let's go with it.
Yeah.
So dark purple eyeshadow.
Dark purple eyeshadow. I've probably that's about as much as I can do, actually. I'm lost after that.
That's okay.
Yeah, dark purple eyeshadow. It's the same brand. I must have asked.
No problem. Any advances on the makeup? Any advances from the rest of our
you've bought the same foundation as her, but it's obviously not the same for your skin color, so it looks a bit strange.
Yes.
Yes. Perfect.
You see it on the neckline. It's just quite different here.
You're ever so slightly orange until about a spot. Love it. And you see this lady in question that you don't know the name of as yet, because I haven't thought of one, kind of does look up and kind of double takes, and then
I'm like, oh, you've got the same makeup as me. Oh, that's lovely.
She just freezes for a moment, just not quite sure what to say, because she's trying to. I think your accent throws her, being an American.
Where did you get it from?
Sorry, darling, I can't understand a word you're saying. Come again?
Where did you get the makeup from?
Oh, this?
This, yes, yeah. Yeah, I mean this.
Yeah, she's asking you where you got it from.
She'll like look around, like a dog was barking. Like, where did that come from? Like, not entirely sure. And she'll be like, "Oh, well, no, this is from the couture shop down the road."
Oh my god!
They've got a
shop there too.
Great sort of arrangement, and they do some lovely like threading. They do eyebrow threading.
Threading? What's that?
It's an experience, darling. It's an experience. It's sorted these babies out, and she'll like kind of like palm over her eyebrows, which you see like a pencil thin, and they've been threaded to an inch of their life. I don't know if that's what threading looks like, but that's what threading looks like in my head.
Oh, well, that's a bit too much, but nice makeup anyway, love. Off you go.
Devastating. Sandra is devastating.
Oh dear.
I'll turn around to either Blodwell or whoever's behind me. I'll say, "Whatever happened to aging gracefully, ladies?"
The other lady in the 40s will grab hold of this person that you are mimicking or kind of cooperating with, and go, "Come, Valerie, we've got to go," and like we'll storm off into the distance. And you can see that Valerie is like just like kind of wondering what just happened, like just still trying to process it. Like, what did just happen? And Pearl and Luther are last to leave, so to speak. But you see that Pearl on the way out stops and has a chat with Julie, and you can see them having a conversation. Julie just like nods, shakes their head, looks at the book, shakes their head. Jots something down, and then kind of puts the book away, and Pearl slowly leaves. The room is yours.
Oh, that's better. Oh, look, they've left a mess here. Julie, could you just come and clean this up, love, please? They've left some crumbs on the table and cups and saucers.
There's just one mug on the table. That's it.
Yeah. Julie will dutifully, because she's a good service worker, will come and with a little spray and give the whole thing a wipe down, and take the rogue cup, which she notices has got like some real dark red lipstick on. Looks at it and just kind of wanders off with this cup. And she says, "Anything else, ladies, before I go? And I'll bring you some more hot water."
Oh, yes. Could you just fill my thermos, actually? Probably easier than just keep coming backwards and forwards.
Okay. Sure.
Oh, Julie, you're a darling. You're a star. You're a diamond.
She'll take the thermos. Anything else?
I'm good.
All good here, my love.
Maybe some
biscuits.
Some weird biscuits.
Very different in the US.
Oh, we got flapjacks here. Do you want a flapjack?
I think we call them.
Oh, but Grace likes a rich tea, though. Blodwyn, she's not quite the same if she doesn't have a rich tea biscuit.
You call them cookies over here, then they'll actually understand what you mean.
A what now?
A cookie.
Rich tea biscuits, Julie. Do you understand?
Well, you can't say biscuit. Last time I asked for a biscuit, they brought me this horrible, dry scone thing.
Yeah.
It was awful. It was.
This is so good.
Apparently they eat their biscuits with gravy over here.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh, come on. You're making it up now, Blodwyn.
No.
You're spinning the
I'm
yarn.
not joking. With gravy.
Oh, that's disgusting. Yeah, I don't know if I could stay here that long, It's just everything's upside down.
Oh, but it's all worth it, as Grace was saying, when you get up on those cliffs and you look over the bay and the light hits the water. Oh, it's just fantastic. Oh, you'll have to go up there, Sandra. It's so nice. It's so nice.
Yeah, it's a bit cleaner than Redditch, I'll give you that.
Definitely.
Julie will kind of wait until this conversation dies down, still holding your thermos, and be like, I'll be back in a bit. I'll bring you the water first. And she'll close the door behind you and then kind of wander off. The room is yours. I'm handing it over. But
I like to think like perhaps we say something like, "Would you like to say Grace?" Like we ask Grace to start the session, and we say to her like, "Would you like to say Grace?" And she starts the meeting.
I'll say Grace, and you can be Mother Teresa.
Hey, fucking watch it.
Just the same weed joke every week.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, from the looks of that guy that just left, you're all Lutherians now.
So good. So what book is under discussion for today? If there is indeed a book under discussion for today, we can just make up a title of any random mystery book if you want.
Oh.
Well, he's not the bloody Hound of the Baskervilles, I tell you that.
Yeah.
I imagine all of them are gonna have like really what's the word, like not thematic. They're gonna have very similar titles, and it's gonna be like, I don't know, Amanda Delacour and the Mysterious Knocking, or
And the Golden
Amanda
Idol of the
Delacour.
Orient Express.
Yes.
Like every single title is just stupidly long.
The New Orient Express.
Yeah. Yeah, like anything like that, it's
Amanda
usually
Delacour in the Case of the Missing Sandwich.
exactly. Yeah. Something along those lines.
But I imagine
In Time by Robin Mattinson.
I sort of imagine they're all going to have quite banal titles, but then inside actually be quite dark and quite risque and quite, sort of really unassuming titles, but then the content's going to be like, whoa, like definitely way too much for Pearl. Pearl would not be able to, can't handle.
It's a little on the nose for Sandra as well. She struggles with some of the sentences, and I don't know. I just think sometimes it just it doesn't have to lower the tone that much.
Yeah.
It's like,
Look, the scene.
It spoils a good mystery sometimes, but I do like that.
Scene where he pushed the Nazi into the helicopter blades. Oh.
Well, I know, but they just didn't have to describe what the blood did, though, did they, Teresa? I mean, like,
yeah, that was a bit unrealistic.
Oh, I mean, yeah. I mean, it couldn't have really gone all over that young. I'd almost said a young child's face, but that is right.
Yeah. Let's not do that.
Yeah.
Look, blood spray goes quite far.
Great. Well, we can come back to what book it was.
Yeah.
But you get about 5 to 10 minutes of discussing your current book when the glass door opens and Julie brings in your relevant tea and your relevant hot water, and she says, the sheriff's here to see you guys. The sheriff's here. Shall I show him in?
Oh, Teresa, you didn't, did you?
The sheriff. Well, he probably needs our help.
I
for
don't
coming
have
down.
the Magnum with me today. I
Teresa
have a permit.
Teresa carries for sure. Like maybe she's not carrying today, but for sure. Taking advantage.
Is it that nice young one, or is it that old boorish one? You know the one I'm talking about with the mustache. Or can't stand him.
Julie looks.
But the nice.
It's the old one.
Oh no, not Mr. Selleck.
I think he prefers Sheriff Selleck.
Sheriff Selleck. Oh God, yeah.
Sheriff Selleck. Or is it Detective Selleck? I don't know what they call.
I mean, that mustache is so 80s. I mean, who would wear something from the 80s?
I know. I bet it's a bugger to keep it clean.
I'm sure you'd try if you could get your chance. I know you, Blockwood.
Oh no. Dead starfish comes to mind.
Incorrigible. Sheriff Selleck, as he's now been renamed. He had a name and now it's different. I'm okay with that. That's fine. That's really fine. Appears, and he is like a rotund kind of like, very overweight sheriff. He probably doesn't do that much work these days apart from sitting behind his desk. And he, that his first name is Wyman Selleck. He's like a jowly, paunchy kind of man. He kind of appears at the door and says, ladies, I'm really sorry to intrude like this, but I knew you're all here and I knew I'd catch you all at the right time. But there's a problem. I need your help.
Julie said we could have this hot water.
It's not about the hot water, dear. It's about Brindlewood Bay. There has been the Krauses, the rich family that come and visit every year, and they take over a bit of the town because they own a lot of money. They're well, how do I put it? The dad, I think his name's Albert. I'll double check that. The dad, Albert Krause, he turned up dead just today, and I'm gonna need some help tomorrow. There's no staff. I've got nothing.
Well, it's lucky you turned up late. You're here any earlier.
Sorry, JC, say it again.
That's an awful situation there, Sheriff. We'll be delighted to pitch in. We're Brindlewood Bay's #1 detective.
And he sort of nods his head. Says, "Believe me, no one is more frustrated about having to ask for a bunch of old biddies than I am. But it's you.
Hey, who
you
you're calling a bunch of old biddies?
Us.
Yeah.
It's a shake.
We're young at heart, we are. Young at heart.
It's lucky you didn't get here any earlier, Sheriff. You would have had the second best detective agency.
Slight movement as I'm hiding a flask.
You can see his nostrils twitch as if he smells something like hooch-like, but he sort of like, his nostrils are too fubard to go through with it. And so he asks for your help to start us off on our mystery, and with that we are closing our game for today, and we will pick it up on Tuesday, I believe, is when our next session is. Tuesday between 7 and 10, and whether we use all that time or not is another matter. I'd like to thank the wonderful cast that we've got for Brindlewood Bay. I'd like to really thank everybody. I'd like to thank JC, Megan, Jeff, and Lane for being amazing character builders and amazing storytellers so far. I'm going to have my work cut out. It's going to be great.
Oh, I mean, it's all been facilitated by you, Chris. So, we can, big thank you to you too for sort of building that world around us.
No worries.
Setting the scene.
Thanks to Dan, who gave us a donation whilst we were on stream. So we are £5 more rich in our charity stream, which has gone over our target, but it doesn't stop you from still being charitable to our target. Once again, this has been Brindlewood Bay, the beginnings of the characters, and if you want to go ahead and conjure up some imagery for your people, you want to start a Pinterest, you want to send me things that are like a Pinterest for your character, you're more than welcome to do that. And we will get your character names underneath your names, as well as your real names underneath your names. So once we come back on Tuesday, because Nathan will be very nice to do that for me. That's it. Happy afternoon. I'm going to go and put a chicken in the oven and roast the hell out of it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go run a Call of Cthulhu game.
Yeah,
I think I'll run a bath.
yeah. If any of the old ladies star in the Call of Cthulhu game, I'm sorry. I didn't do that. That's not me. It's not me. But yes, catch us again in a couple of days' time. We'll be back on Tuesday for session 1 of the great mystery called Dad Overboard. Until then, Nathan, take us out. Bye.